Hello and welcome to yet another episode of For the People. We're here for you. We're here to bring to you whatever is happening in our environments, in our homes, in our situations, whatever situation we're going through. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back again. My name is Fred Bwezani Mwachande, and with me today I've got Gani on my left and I've got Lyrist on my right. Of course, you've probably seen them from the previous episode. This is a team, this is our crew, and we're going to discuss quite a number of issues. But before we go too far, don't forget to like our Facebook page and also follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and also our YouTube channel for our constant updates and our quick updates. You'll be updated as we like, and as always, don't forget to hit the bell button so we can always notify you whenever we've got some new content coming out. Today is yet another beautiful day. It's a wonderful Friday, and we're here to tell you and talk to you about the stuff that we've been hearing about that's happening during the course of the week and during the course of our days. Very strange situations have occurred. We've got a situation where one of our greatest rappers of all time, I think my personal greatest rapper of all time, DMX, is in hospital.
Your turn.
Tell me about it, but that's like the greatest rapper I've ever known to be alive. He introduced me to hip hop. Like the hip hop I know, the hip hop I love, that was DMX. I'm not sure what your greatest rapper is though.
I'm a big fan of DMX. I was actually touched when I heard he's in the hospital, which I actually heard today. But yeah, he's not on my list of favorite rappers. I doubt Gani even knows him.
I know him, but then he's not on my list. I don't think I've heard any songs from him.
You've never heard, bro?
Are you serious?
I'm telling you.
Little rap, right?
Come on, like DMX is like the urban legend. He's the grand champion. He's like everything you've ever wanted to have in a rapper.
That's the thing. You grew up in his time. I didn't grow up in his time.
Well, you're growing up in a time of soft rappers. Rappers are paranoid about doing certain things. But most of our rappers are singing now. But we had a situation where DMX was one of the greatest rappers, only rapper to ever drop 2 albums before Drake in 1 year, and still hit platinum on all the albums. In 1 year.
That's actually my favorite rapper.
Drake is a rapper?
I don't really know. Okay, if you say so. But it's unfortunate what has happened to him. It's like over the period of time, a lot of pressure has been building up on DMX. Yeah. As it is right now, DMX is in hospital. He suffered an alleged drug overdose, and now he was found non-responsive in his home by paramedics who tried to resuscitate him, but they said he's had a situation where he hasn't had any blood flow in his brain for over 30 minutes. That's a fatal situation. We really sit and hope that DMX makes it through what he's going through and gets back to being the DMX we know. But it brings my attention to something. Yeah. It worries me about something. Is he going through something and he's got nobody to talk to?
Yeah, because I was about to ask, like, when did these conditions start and have they confirmed what it is?
So basically what it is that DMX has been on and off drugs for a long time.
Last I checked, he was just going through court cases. I didn't think it was a healthy situation.
Court cases through what?
Yeah, he had some court cases over tax evasion, tax avoidance, and then also some issues to do with child support at one point. But in recent times, DMX has really been trying to pick himself up. He's tried cleaning himself up. Recently, he featured on Swiss Beats and what's his name? Swiss Beats and Timbaland's program, the Versus Challenge, yeah, where he went head-to-head with Snoop Dogg. And boy, am I telling you, that was tight. I loved every bit of that challenge. Because
who won the Versus?
Well, you know how it is. This is a celebration. It's not really a battle. But
who won it?
Of course, I'm going to say DMX because DMX is my man. You know what I mean? Like
I didn't see it, but I know Snoop Dogg won.
Yeah, come on, man. It was a party. Really, it was a party. You could see DMX had gained so much weight. He was looking really good. But now, like, it's like a situation where, is it that DMX was in a place where Mamuna Samalila kind of a situation?
Probably.
So the court cases led him to mental pressures, that's what you're saying?
I'd like to really understand, because at one point there's been talks about the music industry not being favorable to certain older rappers because they are bringing in Winner Drake and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like there's so much pressure based on in which era you're from and what you have been up to and what your nature of music has been like. Because if you look at like DMX's catalog, like that's a tough catalog.
To be honest, I think he's underrated because a lot of the people from his time are like
millionaires now,
millionaires and
fake billionaires coming up and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, maybe that could be the case, but then also he had personal battles, he had personal demons, he had drug addiction over a period of time. He went through it all, man, and to see...
Did he ever disclose why he was taking drugs?
Oh, like most men do, men disclose why they're taking drugs.
But I think it's the pressure of being a celebrity also.
Yeah, and you see, and this is a discussion that we should have, like, really, what happens after the fame? Like, everybody wants to win $1 million today.
Yeah.
But then when you have the $1 million, what happens?
It's different. Winning and being famous are different. I'd rather have the money than being famous or having the pressure that comes with being famous.
About in a 1 million lotto, Lelo. Do you think you'll not be famous?
Oh yeah, definitely no come. But if it's Lotto and she, everybody knows they put you on TV.
Exactly,
How
you'll
do
be
you
everywhere.
feel? You know what I mean? Like,
See, but that's different. He's famous for like his music and whatever. Is obviously going to be judged, criticized over stuff he does outside of music.
But like as DMX's career has been over the last 25 years, DMX has found himself dropping hits after hits and whatnot. And then in the last pretty much like maybe 5-10 years, he's taken a really big slump. But then only rapper I know who would always have open his album with a prayer and would always just ask God for help. At one point, he went to as far as exactly, Lord, give me a sign.
yeah.
Tell me how to reach the mind. Tell me how to teach the blind. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
because I'm going through what I have to go through to get to where I'm going. It's like it wasn't that a cry for help.
Yeah, but like you mentioned, he's trying to be a man about it, I guess. Why he doesn't want to show.
Yeah, and fight his demons in his closet. Yeah, without people knowing what's going through his life.
But do you think it's a sign of strength when you start telling people what you're going through?
To be honest, you telling people what you're going through is going to help you in a way. But then you keeping stuff, men tend to like keep stuff within themselves because they feel like if they talk about what they're going through, they're going to like seem weak or
Yeah, it shows weakness somehow.
Yeah, you sure?
It shows weakness somehow.
Okay, so what kind of weakness are we showing? Because, dude, men are dropping from BP every other day these days. You find the guy on the street, he's just happy today. Next thing you see, you heard he dropped dead.
Yeah.
Okay, but put yourself in a position where, like DMX situation, do you want that to be happening to you?
So is it like?
So you're caring about no, look weak is risking your health.
So are
Do you
you
want that to keep
supporting him taking the drugs? Or
No, this is not drug related. I'm talking about men's, like you need to be emotionally strong to a level whereby you choose the right way to approach your
Your life.
mental state, wherever you are, you know what I mean?
Oh,
And I feel like thinking about it in the sense of, no, I'll look weak. Look weak to who?
Okay, let's maybe stray away from DMX. DMX, we got you in our prayers. We hope you make it through. But then let's stray a bit away from DMX. Let's talk
The
about.
Lord will give you a sign.
Yeah, Lord's going. The Lord's got you, DMX. But now let's move a bit further from this topic of just DMX. But then let's look at men. Like men, when you're going through what you're going through, what do you fall on to help you get through your tough times?
Me personally, it depends with how the tough time itself. Because you can't handle things the same way every time. There is no universal solution.
So
This is how I look at it.
let's take a heartbreak, for instance. How do you handle a heartbreak?
Me, I like torturing myself. The way I handle heartbreaks is I'll keep talking about it with people, so that I shouldn't have that feeling of every time I hear maybe the girl's name or I see a picture, I'll be feeling that pain again. I just take it out, I face it.
So
That is
that's a
how I
good
handle
way of handling it.
Yeah, so that I'm comfortable with it, I can make jokes about it and whatever.
Okay, and financial pressure. How do you handle your financial pressure?
Financial pressure, there could be a solution. Financial pressure.
And you, Ganizani, what do you think? How do you handle your pressures, man? Heartbreak number one. How do you handle your heartbreak?
To be honest, I keep stuff to myself.
So you're the type to
DMX.
bottle it up, eh?
Yeah.
No,
I'm not a DMX.
do you resort to any like activity, any drugs, any sport or anything?
No, I just keep stuff to myself. And then hope to get over it.
Hope, huh?
Yeah.
Are you an introvert or an extrovert type of a person?
I think I'm an introvert.
You'd rather just die inside and...
Yeah.
That's sad.
And financial pressure?
I don't have any financial.
Anyway, I do not want to get into that, but then let's take for instance, you're driving down the road, you do not really have proper cash in your pocket, and you have an accident and you're in the wrong. What's the first thing you do?
I don't.
And you, my man? Just go home, eh? Yeah,
Just
guys.
go home.
Why didn't you go? You abandon the vehicle there?
No, I want to abandon it, but then I'm going to go home and it won't really be my problem financially. It will be for the people at home because I'm still living at home.
Even when you move out, you'll be living in a home.
But you get what I mean.
No, I definitely do understand, yeah. And you, Lyrics, my guy, what would you do?
I always have that one homeboy who can have my back.
It's always about the homie, eh?
Yeah, like, yo, bro, I need you right
But
now.
now, when you're having a breakdown, a psychotic breakdown, if I would like to call it, but that might
it's
be
psychotic,
that might be an overstatement if I say psychotic. But if you're having a tough moment, a moment where your honey broke your heart, your manana has just broken your heart, your tough manana, she's just broken your heart. You found her with one of your homies. Who's the first person you call?
I have nobody to call in such a situation, honestly. I'll call the other lyrics, like, bro, we gotta talk about this. Who are we raising up? Is it the girl or your boy?
But we've talked about ourselves. How do you deal with such pressures?
Well, I'll put it out straight. I'm a bit talkative, as you have noticed in the last couple of weeks that we've been doing the show. I'm a bit talkative. I really have that one homie I can call upon, maybe 2 or 3 homies. I'm the type of person who's kept a close community close to me. I'll probably call them up, and then there's certain things where you just find yourself feeling like, okay, now I'm looking weak here.
Yeah.
I can't really be complaining to the owners about the same situation over and over. So you end up just going to the nearest pub, have yourself 2 beers, 6 beers, before you know it, a bottle of something strong, and go home and pass out about it. You know what I mean? I think the whole aspect of looking weak is what has been brought upon us by society. It's like society is asking us to say, hey, how tough are you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you're
validation.
Exactly.
See?
It's like we seek validation. But then as men, do we think we are yet at a point where we can actually call up a homie and cry?
Yes, we are. As in today, we are.
Can I cry in front of my friends, though?
Yeah.
Why can't you cry in front of your friends?
No, it's been long since I cried, because even when I lose someone from death, I barely cry. I'm an inside crying type of person.
Yeah.
And it's not like intentional. So I don't know. But I think I would if I really, really broke down like that. Yeah, I think I would. Probably even in public. I'm a person.
Like if you had to count, how many of your friends have seen you cry?
None.
That's a quick count, eh? 0.
0.
And you, Danny?
I don't think any of my friends.
So you say, in which instant would you shed a tear in front of the homies?
Maybe if a death occurred or something.
So it has to only be death for you to shed a tear.
Like if you lost a dog, death?
No, not a dog, a human being.
Need to be specific.
No, but like,
People love that.
don't you think like when you have to express your emotions to people, like when you have to really tell people what you're going through, there comes an instant where the cathartic tear just drops, you know, it's just like, you know, that moment where,
Oh, you have a flu. Why'd you keep sniffing?
yeah, you know, like there's those moments where, as a man, I'm gonna change it, but in a bar,
Bookie.
naenda che kunyumba che, one of those moments where you just like, you know what, man, give me 4 of what?
The hardest thing you have.
Because like
The strongest drink.
I think the strongest guys I have ever had, or the most of the strong guys I think I've ever known, I won't lie, is I find strength in just sitting down with myself, having a beer, maybe with one of the homies, or especially with myself, I'll probably just have a beer, sit in the house, watch some TV, and just write about it somewhere.
Yeah.
But then sometimes writing about it is like living evidence that something got to you too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is difficult for us who make music, because then that same writing about it, you're literally pushing it in their faces. You're even marketing it.
See, but that's a way for you to get over it. At
Yeah,
least,
it's
you're letting
it's
it
an
known to the
outlet.
public.
But like in his situation, he doesn't want the wrong person to be find.
Hey, you know, like, she should
that's
find
why
out she hurt you like that. You know what I mean? She's like, so I did him wrong for real, ne? She's like, yeah, I punzi la lero, you know, I not need obvious for him, baby.
Next time you perform, I'll make you write about it.
Exactly, everything's about him. Uzali la futi. So, like, I think, like, do you think there's enough facilities to help men get through such pressure?
As of
Not
now,
just that type of pressure. Let's take for instance, God forbid, like you've got your manana, your guza, your love, the love of your life, and then for instance, you find out she's been talking to another own. What's your first reaction?
talk to the homies about it.
No, like
But what's your reaction?
My reaction.
yeah,
I'll be heartbroken, of course.
that's not a reaction.
That's a reaction.
You just get yourself up and just leave. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's a fight or flight situation for you. And you, my man, what do we do in that situation?
Me, I'm random, to be honest. Like
It's all not pre-planned. Eh?
it's never pre-planned. Like it depends on how far it takes me. But I will say it is definitely gonna make me wanna take some couple of beers, and I'll probably just lose it. I get a bit careless when I'm sad. I mean, my sadness leads to anger personally, so I get a bit careless. If I have money, trust me, I'll forget about all the other serious pressures because I depend on rent. Yo, bro,
Landlord somewhere,
let's
no?
fuck some shit. Not bad.
No, we got you, my man. We understand it will be blurred out.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I do most of the time. Then I'll get to thinking about it by myself the following morning. When I start like regretting, like that's how much I blew. Then I'll get back to why I was doing that. Like,
So what's your go-to drug when you're having a tough time?
mainly it's the alcohol.
And you?
It's the bad.
Is it the video games? It's a drug. Everything could be a drug. Is it the people? Is it going to see a therapist? Is it?
The mirror.
I don't have a good thing. Whatever makes me feel alright at that point is.
When you say alright, you mean something that's gonna make you fix it or forget it?
No, forget it, not fix it. Forget it. Like there are certain things you can't just fix.
Well, fixing depends on how you handle it mentally. It's not like fixing it to be better, but fixing.
You know, recently
Thyself.
I've been watching something. Like there's a program that I came across from one of the ladies I know, and then she's like, you should watch this. You should tell me how you'd react if this had to happen to you. It's called Paternity Court. It's on YouTube and stuff. And then
Paternity court.
yeah, so there's some instances where a man and his baby mama or his wife have an argument, and she tells him, even if you're arguing with me over this is not your child. What's your first reaction?
Like you discover,
She tells you it's not your child.
and then how old is this child?
You've been in the life of the child. Like, let's take for instance 4 years.
Yeah, that is my child. You're taking care of me for 4 years?
So that's your child. That's your fight or flight reaction.
Me, I would actually keep the child and get rid of the girl.
But she's a biological mother. You are just a theoretical father.
Well, like, okay, you know, is it in court yet or not?
It's in court now at that point.
Yeah.
It's like you're waiting for DNA results.
Man,
The
no
DNA
more-
results come out and then it's not yours. What do you do?
No more child support, no more buying hair.
But then you can't just let go of the child.
Exactly. You've spent 4 years with the child, and the child
No,
calls
like,
you Papa
They're
and
prob-
that not. You know what I
they're
mean?
Probably a part
Which is
of
why
you.
my first decision was keep the kid, but because it's not mine, if the child really wants to still be with me, because they usually ask the child.
Well,
Because-
only when they are over 8. But anyway, I don't know about the Zambian law. It's just some
Yeah.
stuff I've been watching. It's theoretical. I just saw it up and I'm like, what would I do?
my main point is,
what would you do?
I wouldn't mind with the kid, but
Ish.
the girl is in trouble.
You know, some of these situations are easier to look at on TV and just think, what would I do? I would probably just leave and whatnot. But
You can't relate if you've never been even an inch close.
Like, really, I think of myself in a certain scenario where I'm like, I think I'd probably stick around, depending on how foolishly in love I am, you know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, love nkapondoka, love, I'm a leader, Wanyamata. But then, I would like to bring us to another scenario. Your wife or your child or your, let's take your girlfriend, for instance. You know, these days, Uncle Bleble, I'm a pezeka these days.
Blessers.
Yeah, you know, they come flashing the cash and majizapa, kastax kalipo chavpi.
It's wild.
Ma bleble.
Because up to now, I've been wondering, like, all my exes, some of them that damn it, they leave me for a blesser.
Okay, first of all, what do you think sends women to a blesser?
Better lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. A soft life.
Better lifestyle.
Define the soft life.
Yeah. When we say
Trips to Dubai. I ask for a Range Rover, you get me a Range Rover. An iPhone 12 comes out, you get one for me. Yeah. That's a soft life.
Alright.
What's your take on a blesser and blessee relationship?
Right. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to answer the same question, and I'm stuck because honestly, I can't relate. I mean, I'm a man. I'm used to grinding for myself, and when I say myself, that includes if I have a girlfriend. So that means they're just used to being given stuff.
Okay, maybe let's start it like this. What's the role of a man in a relationship with a woman? Let's take your girlfriend's in college or university or something, and you are out here in society and trying to make a living. What's your role as a boyfriend?
I'm supposed to be a friend and there for her in any situation that I am capable of handling.
Okay, so
Capable of handling.
capability,
Yeah.
amounting to what? What are you being capable of?
I'm not gonna answer that directly, but I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I don't even know if it's an example, whatever it is. I'm just not the type of person who respects someone who would expect me to match up to what your father should be doing. Because your father wasn't capable of what you want me to be capable of when they were my age.
I don't know, were you there? The culture was different at the time.
Really? Okay, how often was it that back in the day a boy in their 20s is driving? Let's start with that.
Well, I know a few gentlemen that were driving in their
Question is,
20s.
how often?
But then, yeah,
Compared to now.
for sure, the world has changed, the markets have
world
changed.
has changed
Yeah,
now. It's
but
different. You can't compare what our fathers were doing back then to what we're doing now.
So who's comparing? Is it the guys or the females?
The world.
I'm trying to separate this here.
But you're still not giving me an answer. Hey, Gani, what's the role of a boyfriend in a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship?
What he said, and to go all out for her sometimes, not all the time.
All out.
Yeah.
So for
make
the
her
married
feel
one, what's your role? Okay, no, there's culture.
There's all culture, there's all sorts
so
of
away
stuff
from
there
that,
involved,
let's
you know what I
not
mean?
touch that.
But basically, I think when I was a boyfriend and when I had certain things to do, my first step is basically I handle my home first before I can handle anybody else's pressure, you know what I mean?
Charity begins at home.
Yeah, if she needs relish, come to my house and get from the fridge, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be getting up and just saying, hey, you need relish for 9 of your mates. Let's go away.
Usually they never ask for relish. They ask for
ask for money.
Money or going out to go eat some pizza, you know. There's pizza in Terrific Tuesday. You buy 2, she goes with 1, you eat 1 together.
Sure, in appetite to Akashana these days.
Okay, I've stopped. I know what I'm trying to do here. I'm done.
No, because you see, this blesser-blessee relationship thing is popping up everywhere. You're seeing a blesser everywhere. Everybody probably has a blesser now. Okay, I'm not talking on behalf of everybody. And hey, please don't forget, this is our opinions only. It's not like it's casting stone, it's nobody's rules or anything. These are our opinions.
But would you guys be blessers?
I think certain things would happen only if certain situations arise.
Yeah, because, that question is actually a good question. I have seen blessers who actually fall in love, bro. Not because I just want someone to play with. Like, literally fall in love with this youngin' and you're like, wow, Bali.
Then I don't think
up with
he's
the
a
chubby
blesser
wife
in that instance. I think he's looking for love. What is a blesser?
Actually, now made me realize I don't know what a blesser is.
So I think the definition, the loosely defined definition that we've been hearing about being a blesser is basically a man who doesn't really want to fall in love per se, but necessarily is willing to provide for a lady's needs just so that she can meet his needs. It may be sexual needs, it may be company, it may be just for the portrait, just to look good out there, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Some of them are not married. Some of them are, but it's a question like depending on. But then the biggest implication of being a blesser, from what I gather, is you should be able to send blessings people's way.
Mm-hmm.
Provide the soft life.
The blessings is
just ching ching, you know. Hey, no babe, can jala bwanji, you know. Katioka kamozi do 24
I
nails.
feel like we're being sexist here.
I think next time we should have a lady to talk about this bless you relationship.
Yeah,
and
because
just
you know,
get a
one
full
time
glimpse,
there's this
you know what I
rumor
mean?
that came out. I don't know if you heard it. That AKA, the South African artist,
Yeah.
he was having sexual intercourse with rich men to be providing for his music career. So there's
could be
guys,
blessers
you know,
also.
A lot of stories like that come out.
Yeah, there's also guys who go sugar mummies, which counts as blessers. Because I feel like we're just.
Oh yeah. So you can be a John Soliobali also and have a blame. I'm mommy blame.
Yeah, and then you're even going to make your booze. I feel like you're acting. This side, you're impressing someone.
So John Soliobali, I think I'm a starter with sugar mommy and I can blessing a babe girl. Now have a babe girl can she? I should I'm done. I have a blessing. So manjeni she still check confusion man.
Well, these are actually the connections you find peer educators who talk about HIV/AIDS bring in.
Yeah, maybe one day we should get one of those guys to just like give us an insight. But then, hey, one day we should also just get if there's a sugar mommy ready to just talk to us about what our roles are and what their roles are. Wouldn't be a bad idea.
That would actually be very interesting.
Sugar mommies, if you're listening or watching, please DM us or holler at us. The names and numbers are there. I think we can make that available for you.
Sugar daddies.
Sugar daddies. Come on, we're your boys. Want to be like you maybe when we grow up. Kaya, any times I can start determined. But then so like those are just some issues have been just pop up sometimes. You know, we just sitting and you're wondering like, oh, really? But then
that also brings me back to the topic of the dressing at Unilas.
Now you got me. Yes.
Yeah. So my only question is, are the guys involved in that dress code?
But what kind of dress code? Okay, basically what the story is about the Unilas dress code is the fact that there's a dress code that Unilas is about to impose. Is it imposing?
They imposed it already.
It's practically imposing on
exactly. So is it an infringement on their human rights or anything? But we don't know about that. We shall find out from Unilas one day when we get the chance to have an interview with them. But then the current situation is that Unilas, or University of Lusaka, has brought about a dress code which is going to restrict the dressing of certain individuals, in this case the other gender, and it's going to restrict the dress code to try and match what they're calling a moral dress code. Apparently there is a complaint about the way the ladies have been dressing up.
But then is it the ladies' fault or the guys' fault in the way that dressing stuff has come up?
So now, from some articles that you would read up on, they're saying there's overexposure of skin.
But you see, it just how would I say this? It's like it depends on how a guy is looking at her. She's not wrong in any way for dressing up the way she's dressing.
So it's your eyes that are the problem.
It's your eyes that are sexualizing.
Which brings me to what I was trying to say. Who decided to notice and bring this rule up?
First of all, what went wrong?
That person who, whether it was a staff at Unilas, had a problem. And then he was like, nah, I can't do this no more.
Like,
Which means, instead of you going to work and doing your job, you're paying attention to the wrong things. That's how I see it.
What if the things are right in your face, and then what do you do then?
Why
that brings you back to self-control.
Okay, so self-control is one thing, but does the dress code play a role?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't play a role. Are you going to say for instance, she's a girl and then
Carry on, you know. I'll give you this one.
and then you're dressed like this. Is he going to say no? The way you're dressed up is
It's doing
it's
things to
tempting
me.
It's
No,
doing
go
things
change.
to me.
Like, you know, like ladies of late have been hearing stuff about the way you're dressed. Apparently, you're dressed in male lingerie. Ladies have been saying men wearing track pants is like male lingerie. So,
But
maybe that's why.
Are they asking us to stop wearing them?
They're not asking us to stop wearing them.
But what if they like it, but then they can exercise self-control? There's a video I saw just the other day of a lady. I don't know where it was.
Oh, the one in the
Rumors,
store?
yeah, rumors
I
have
saw
it that
it, yeah.
it
I was
was.
also against that. The way they treated her, very. They
Okay, so what
tried to
exactly were
do-
you against? Was it her dress code or?
No, I was against
the
how
treatment?
they handled the situation. You know
Okay.
what I mean? She's got freedom. This is a free country. What's the ego doing on the flag? I thought it symbolizes freedom.
Cool.
So
that's
they
a
were,
good way
of
to
course,
look at it.
they looked at her like a prostitute and whatnot. Me, I was just on her like, that's a fashion crime. But I don't have to walk to her.
But you
"No,
see,
you're not supposed to be dressing like this.
Did you see
If
what
my
she was
eyes
trying
can't
to
handle
copy?
it, I'm supposed to look away.
In America, someone else was wearing the same exact outfit as her, and it looked just okay to the people there.
Yeah, and what they'll tell you here is no, our culture or whatnot.
But then why say this is a free country if you want to?
See?
When do we draw the line of the freedom? Is it on what you dress up in? Is it on where you dress up in it from?
'Cause
Or I'm about to ask you a very sensitive question right now. Would you let your sister walk out dressed like that?
My sister, of course, I would.
You would.
I would.
Okay, then that we got a different perspective. Would you let
I
your
would.
sister dress
I
up
have
like
no
that?
Yes, I
issues with that.
I wouldn't.
Why wouldn't you?
Guy, certain things I like to say, like certain things about my woman, my sister, my girl, my daughter, should be private until the time comes for somebody has
Okay,
to
so
address them.
how old do you think that girl was in that video?
Well, I couldn't see her face, so I'm thinking she's probably in her mid-20s or something, because for you to have
That
such
sounds
confidence,
like an age of where you need to let someone make their own decisions. If that's your daughter and you're paranoid, meaning you are paranoid because you don't think you raised her right.
Or you're scared that she's going to
So
do
meaning you
certain
know
things
you
with the
didn't
way
do a
she's
good
dressed
job
up.
because someone who knows how to make good decisions, you know you raised a proper child, you're not supposed to be paranoid.
at which point does it become indecent exposure?
I think the religious people and the cultural people can answer that question.
Because there's like
Because that's the line. It's like our freedom is here. This is the line.
Yeah.
Then comes religion. There's another line. So we move in. Then comes culture. There's another line. And then the Western culture we're really trying to copy is that side.
so we're looking through the three fences
So
to
all
see
you
what's on
have
the
to
other side.
understand you is people who you play with your circle. When you go out there, they just look at you like morning, and I feel like that's wrong. As humans,
But if you sat in your circle with your boys and then the lady just like that passes,
me and my friends would be like, bro, we'll actually be liking that. Like, no lie.
not in a sexual way though.
Of course, in a sexual way. What's that?
So automatically
It's like
it's no longer a cultural thing. It's
No, it's no longer a cultural thing. It's about preference. What you like to see, what you don't like to see. And if you don't like to see it, it's not like I can approach it like, shouldn't be dressing like this. If I want to do that, it's better I go to the side and tell her, do you think this is appropriate? Then you pull out your camera, start shouting names. That is
Yeah,
not
it made her
right.
feel some type of way.
You saw, I could see her facial expression. She was frightened.
We're talking about indecent exposure, right?
Yeah.
You're also infringing her rights there in a certain way.
which of course is the truth.
Okay,
Yeah?
because what right do they have to be capturing her? Imagine there was not this corona thing. She wouldn't have been wearing a mask. Everybody would have seen who she is.
Yeah, true. But then it's a situation where everybody around us has got a different opinion and different perspectives about it. We've got people who were born in the 80s who are still here and they'll be like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
We've
they'll
got people who
probably
were born
kill me
in
for
the
my
90s and they're
comments
like, that's all right. The people in the thousands are like, that's cool. It's not just all right, that's cool. I'd like to do that too. But then it's a question of drawing the line. Who's going to be more comfortable with it? It's like, would you let your chick dress up like that and you walk with her in public?
If I know my chick is loyal, yes, I would.
What does loyalty have to do with it?
Because if she's not loyal, that's going to tempt some dude and he'll holler at her. Then she'll go with him.
So in short, it's a marketing strategy.
Yes. it's a
Okay, the
marketing
question
strategy.
the other question is, why wouldn't you let your chick dress up like that if you were to go out?
I'm just the type of person who believes like certain things when they're mind. They shouldn't really be out there. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's a selfish dude.
Yeah, I'm selfish, bro. Hey, guy. Just even, if I find a guy smelling like my cologne, you know how women would be like, you're wearing the same attire as me. Just a guy wearing the same cologne as me is already just like, I'm unsetting, I'm guys. You're the same now, you guys.
What if you just met for the first time?
But in setting are still more. Why are you smelling like me? So it's just like one of those things where I'm a controlling type of person. I like to keep my environment under control. And every time I feel like I'm losing control over my environment, I tend to feel as if I need
powerless.
And not necessarily power, but I just need to exercise like some restraint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know for a fact, like in certain situations, like that particular dressing situation, just the aspect of restraint is not something that everybody out there will practice. Yeah. And I think it's something that we should also look at as a society to say, restraint is not something that anybody has. It's not everybody who's got it. If, take for instance, that chick was dressed up like that, taking a walk to her house, maybe. Take for instance, she lives like in, we could say Chilenje, for instance, or Chalala in the evening, let's say 18 hours, 19 hours, and something had to happen to her.
So are you trying to say she's in the wrong for dressing like that, which is or her dressing is causing her to get raped or something like that?
I'm just thinking like
who's wrong for